right. Good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? It is 9 o'clock, so we are going to get started. We don't have any fancy introductions or anything like that, but I definitely want to welcome you to Michigan City. Good morning, Michigan City. Thank you for attending this year's State of the City address. I'm going to try to stay on point by using my notes today and not going off script. It is an honor to stand before you as your mayor, and I am humbled by the trust that you have placed in me to lead this great city. So if you all would stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I know, it's rough out there. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I can't sing, so I'm not going to sing the national anthem for you today. But today our theme is celebrating progress, confronting challenges, and committing to the future. Are you going to follow me on this one? I just want to make sure I'm testing you out.
You had the next slide much farther down.
All right. So, again, a year ago, I stood before you just 3 months into my administration, offering a high-level update and introducing our leadership team. Since then, our dedicated city employees, community leaders, and residents have worked tirelessly to move Michigan City forward. Before we begin, I want to take a moment to recognize the hardworking Michigan City employees who made our progress possible. Could you please stand? I know it's dark in here, so that we can express our gratitude to the Michigan City employees who make our city great. It's important that you see these people because we are committed to our city. I also want to acknowledge our newest additions to our team, Melissa Henderson as our Director of Human Resources, Wendy Vache, our Director of Public Works, and Rhonda Anderson, our Water Reclamation Superintendent. Their expertise and leadership will strengthen our operations. Over the last year, I have had numerous luncheons, breakfasts with different departments to not only listen to concerns, but to learn from them. Several employees received awards and recognition for their commitment to the city. We have, many of our leaders that go through Leadership LaPorte County. But our goal and our commitment is to amp up our engagement in the community. We want residents to know we are accessible, that we're volunteering our time and resources to causes in Michigan City. So as we celebrate progress, people, place, and future, building a stronger team. During my campaign, I ran on reimagining Michigan City, our people, our place, and our future. This last year, we spent a lot of time on people. These are the foundational principles that I live by and serve by. One of my first realizations as mayor was the lack of internal communication between departments. Staff meetings and interdepartmental collaboration have been neglected for several years. To address this, we established monthly staff meetings, project team meetings, department progress reports. You would think this is like just basic stuff, right? But it hadn't been happening. While tedious at first, these efforts have created a more efficient and accountable government, and they hate to see me text or call. But that's okay. It's all in love. It's all in love. We've partnered with the Center for Workforce Innovation and Ivy Tech to provide employees with professional development opportunities. We've done customer service training, communication and leadership training. We're trying to equip our employees with tools they need to succeed, and this will directly impact the services that we provide to residents. Additionally, we found opportunities for residents to learn and participate in training through a partnership with the Michigan City Economic Development Corporation. We also had our first graduation from our Neighborhood Leadership Academy, which will continue. Last year, we had our first annual Municipal Leadership Internship Program. We hosted 25 students from over 10 universities. They worked in various departments, including engineering, cemetery operations, airport, controller's office, just to name a few. We also partnered with Ivy Tech for an IT intern. We were able to keep several interns during the fall in planning, the mayor's office, controller's office, in the fall with the help of a grant from Work One. So last year, we talk about budgets, a more responsible budget. Last year, I spoke about our $73.4 million budget and committed to financial transparency. We hosted 4 financial workshops to ensure both the City Council and the public understood our fiscal position. Thank you to the Controller and her team for identifying gaps and issues. This has been an educational process for the department heads as well. I asked them, did you look at your budget? Don't come asking me for anything if you hadn't looked at your budget first. The riverboat and Boyd gaming funds have seen significant decreases over the last several years, and the budget wasn't adjusted to reflect that, and you can see that, the different departments. Through diligent review, we adjusted our budget to reflect the decline in riverboat and Boyd gaming funds. Now, our general fund is approximately $29 million of our $67 million budget, just to put that in perspective. And our riverboat funds is about $8.3 million is our riverboat funds. So we set a new baseline this year of $67.2 million for 2025, even though medical costs are still on the rise. These adjustments, while difficult, get us in a sustainable path forward, especially with anticipated cuts to our general fund by our state legislature. I've spent countless hours in drive time down at the State House this session because there are several bills that will impact us directly, anywhere from $5 to $12 million if it stayed as is. So we're fighting for amendments to make sure that we can keep our taxpayer dollars in our city. At this time, I would like to recognize and thank the Michigan City Common Council. Can you hit the lights for us? For their engagement in this process. If city council members could stand. This council has done a wonderful job. This has been a true partnership and learning opportunity for us. When I look at money and I look at the funds and the budget, they are a true partner in this. So anytime anything has been identified by the controller's office, I call a workshop because I want to make sure they know what I know. And I think this is the first time in a long time that this has occurred. Another thing that we're doing is we're utilizing our ARPA dollars to invest in equipment, infrastructure, and community services, ensuring Michigan City remains strong. So we use our ARPA dollars to kind of help offset some of those declining revenues that we've seen. So now I'll transition to Public Works and Safety. You can go on to the next one. Our fire department. Our fire department saw a 5.3% increase in cost for service compared to a 10.63% for calls for service the previous year. So that's 3,928 calls in 2024. I don't think people realize how many calls our police and fire departments go on each year. And you can see a lot of those are assisting medical, EMS calls, rescue calls. We had 120 calls for fire and 165 for hazardous conditions. They also play a critical role in community service in our community. Next, the police department. In 2024, and thanks to the county prosecutor, he stole my thunder. He shared my information before I could share it, but we saw overall crime decrease by 17.46% last year. And that's even with the increase in calls for service. You can see we had 41,533 calls for service last year. And that's an increase, but yet we saw a decrease in overall crime. Community policing is important for that. 25% is up 25% from 2023. And again, all of this is due to our officers, our firefighters, their dedication, the community engagement, enhanced training, especially around mental and substance abuse. It's really important that we have a face and that people feel welcome and they feel at ease when dealing with our public servants. Infrastructure. Sidewalks and roads. Last year was a big year for Michigan City. In 2024, we did approximately 1,487 square yards of sidewalks due to poor conditions or newly installed in over 65 locations. But we did an additional 5,371 square yards on 15 different streets with our road improvement projects. This year, we have committed $300,000 to sidewalk improvements for this year, and this is at a higher rate than ever before. Road improvements. In 2024, we paved 9 miles of road at a cost of $4.7 million. And that's the largest we've seen in a long time as well. Our goal for 2025 is to invest another $3 million. We're still awaiting the CCMG grant funding. Water and Sanitary District, we're on track to complete 2 major projects this year, including extending water and sewer to our annex property on Highway 20, and a new lift station to increase capacity on the north end through the Residential Infrastructure Fund. Franklin two-way conversion. I never thought I would see this in a lifetime. So this was, thank you to the Franklin Street businesses for enduring during that time period that we were doing this. The two-way conversion was completed right before the holiday season kicked off, and I think this is going to make a tremendous impact on their business, and I think it's been a long time coming. So I hope you all have driven. I think the first day I drove up and down like 10 times, but the things you notice when you haven't driven it is like, oh, I never saw that mural. So again, I would like to thank Tim Werner, Chris Johnson, Chris Gelski, Jim Michaels, Sean Smith, Adam O. Again, we've done a lot of work last year, and it's more to come this year. So on the economic development front, we've had a lot of wins. Michigan City continues to grow. Thanks to the collaboration between the Economic Development Corporation, Chamber of Commerce, Michigan City Area Schools, thank you to Skylar York, Clarence Hulse and his team. We've had significant projects that were completed in 2024, and we're excited about the new developments that are shaping up for the future. I just spoke about infrastructure investments. These investments impact the ability to lure businesses here. So, I talked about the annex property, business park development. We have 230 acres with water and sewer going in this year. It was a $4 million, thanks to the council. I was on that council that approved the funding for this. It's zoned industrial. It's within a mile of I-94. We've also had Raising Cane's. We're the chicken capital on the south end of town. Man, I tell you. But again, we've had HealthLink, Chicago Title. Move to the next slide. On Highway 12, and no project is too small or too big. We had Trips Treehouse, and also Swells, which is always packed. Great pizza as well. And then on Highway, some of our construction and manufacturing, we had expansions with Mid-City Supply, Dalton Enterprise, FH Passion, and then last but not least, in Eastgate Plaza, Cabling, Ace Hardware. And let me say this about this. This comes full circle. My first job was at Harvey's Dime Store, where Ace was a part of that in that same exact location, which is crazy to see. So thank you to the Cabling family for making an impact on Michigan Boulevard. More businesses are investing and expanding currently into this year. We have Rocco Steak and Burgers. We have the On the next slide, we have the Heron Bistro, which is French cuisine, and the cellar door, which that has been vacant for a while. We also have North Shore Health Center, which is going to be in the old St. Paul School. Is right now is a they're not fully staffed, but they're still continuing that project and it's moving forward. And then we have Chick-fil-A. So let me say this about Chick-fil-A because I was just sharing this with someone. You know, I was in Tallahassee, where my alma mater is, and there's a Chick-fil-A across the street almost from one another because they have their own metrics and dynamics that let you know if it's a place to be. For Chick-fil-A to come to Michigan City, we got something going on. So I don't know. But Chick-fil-A will be opening soon. And then we have D. Martin Enterprises. They are going through a big transformation. This is a family-owned business that has been here in Michigan City, and they are investing their expansion right here in our city. So again, D. Martin Enterprises. Next, I'll go on to some projects with housing. So if you go to the next slide, we have the old Washington Street Deli. That has been refurbished, but we also have Casa del Libre, and that was the original public library here in Michigan City that is now apartments. So kudos to those investors for investing their money in Michigan City. We have several housing developments progressing along. Woodland Ridge, you see that out by the high school. Again, the first phase is 33 homes. There are streets in. Again, kudos to our water and sewer to getting that all done for those homes. So those are already selling. Then we have our Beechwood subdivision right off of Highway 12 when you hit Washington Park Boulevard. And then St. Andrews, this is new. This is over by Notre Dame. This is right off of Highway 12 and Moore Road. And these are going to be luxury townhomes. Tony McCree is the developer. Now, Singing Sand Suites, this is a project that's a workforce housing project right at 8th and Michigan Boulevard. And this project was submitted for Ready 2.0 dollars. We're also working diligently on some additional funding stacks through the federal government and the Department of Transportation. What people don't realize is because of the double track and us having a transit development district, it gives us other opportunities for funding. There's a mechanism for anything within a half a mile of the of that train station gives us additional funding. So we are excited about the Singing Sand Suites. We hope to have a daycare and amenities there for workforce housing. Next, SOLA, that's been in the news quite a bit. Again, you've seen the fencing go up, and so hopefully we'll have a true groundbreaking sometime soon. But again, this one is mixed use. This is a hotel, condos, and townhomes. And last but not least, with all the cranes in Michigan City, the Franklin, that will be opening next year. Our parking garage is close to being fully completed and will be in use here in the near future. So we're excited. Every time I go past there, I'm kind of in shock because it's kind of shock and awe. Go to the next slide. These pictures are like old now. Every time I go, like every 2 weeks, it's like, okay, this is what it is. So, and real estate. So this opportunity, 5th and 6th and Pine. You know, we've talked about the old Memorial Hospital site for multiple years. We decided, especially while I was on the redevelopment commission, that we would start utilizing the RFP process. And what that means is put your money where your mouth is and bring your A game and your team with you. And so this has been a year-long process. I will be announcing at the end of this month who this project has been awarded to. And we're looking at a grocery store and 500 units, which could include senior housing as well. So we're excited about this project to get this going. And we're estimating this to be a $300 million capital investment into the downtown area. So this is a big win for Michigan City. And last but not least, We've talked about the prison site quite a bit. This slide, I've reused it and repurposed it. So last week, I had the opportunity to visit Lorton Reformatory in Virginia, which is a former prison complex that closed in 2001. Redevelopment there began in 2008, and it's still in progress, actually. A lot of federal and state historical funding. The cool thing from that visit was the utilization of the majority of the buildings. Nothing was really torn down at all. They didn't tear anything down. Very little demolition. They had some new things to the site. They had daycares, they had gyms, they had new townhomes built around it, single-family homes built around it, a grocery store, other businesses, and then the barracks and where the cells were, they had apartments. They had apartments that were affordable and market rate apartments. So very enlightening. I didn't want to put any pictures in here on that, but very enlightening to see that a facility like that and how long it's taken. Because we're in 2025, and they still have another phase to go, and it was closed in 2001. So I just want to put that in perspective for the public, that this is not going to happen. It may not all happen in any of our lifetimes, but nonetheless, it's a process. So now, going on to confronting challenges. So, the state of the city is, you talk about all the good stuff, but we also need to confront challenges that our city is facing and making sure that we do something to address those things that are happening. And with growth comes challenges, and I want to assure you that we are not applying Band-Aids, but really trying to implement true lasting change. So reforming city operations was a part of that. We done a lot of restructuring last year. I've gotten pretty good and starting to learn more about AI and trying to create KPIs for myself, setting goals. Last year we went through a full restructuring of the sanitary district. When I took office, I had no idea what I was stepping into. At one point, I was the acting GM. I was doing day-to-day operations over there, and I was like, this is crazy. But it was necessary because I always say, we were a day away from not paying the bills. But what has happened with the reorganization is we've implemented financial controls, updated policies, and we just demand greater accountability. Thanks to commitment of our team, Chris stepped in for us. We brought Chris Burke Engineering in to step in for us. The board of directors and the employees, they have stepped up tremendously and really have stabilized operations. Now we're going through this transition in the planning and inspection department as well. We have separated planning from redevelopment now. We've had some broken processes around permitting, and we know that everything has been by paper. At one point, there was a sign up on the window that said 30 days, up to 30 days. I said, take that off of that window. That is crazy. That is crazy. And we knew that we had to do something different. We brought on Dave Alberts to lead the charge on, we have a building superintendent position to bring on more inspectors and guidance. And I'm pleased to announce that our cloud permit software is live so that we can get away from all this paper. And I want to thank Chris Vandenberg for her time in leading this effort to get us off the ground and making sure that we can do real-time permitting. We know that there has been a gap. We've restructured, the planning department. We now have Wendy Vache is our public works director. We're working through having a permit specialist. So we are reimagining what that department looks like. We're also hiring, working with the unions to hire additional inspectors to support Sue as this growth spurt is happening and is not going to stop. I'm sick and tired of garbage, and I'm sick and tired of talking about garbage. Let me say this. This has been the garbage year. 2024 was a year of garbage and illegal dumping, right? Uh, we passed a refuse ordinance. I thought we're gonna, thank you to the council for passing it. Uh, there are some changes, but there's some flyers out there that are going in the mail, are going in the water bills now. Uh, but garbage and dumping have been a challenge for us. So, unlike other cities, we don't charge a monthly fee for garbage at all. At all. We don't charge anything. Go to the next slide. I'm going to give you a couple more of these so that y'all understand. So, good actors are good actors. We just want to make sure that the public understands that when you're doing the right thing, great. But sometimes we have neighbors that don't and people who don't do the right thing. We purchased a new truck in December, and we have 2 more arriving in August of this year through a matching grant. Right now, we're focusing on the education campaign. If you could go to the next slide, where we're doing bill inserts. This was the first one that we did, just telling you the basics. Put your garbage inside the can. Don't put things on the ground. Just some basic, high-level things. What are special pickup fees? Leave this one up for a minute. What are special pickup fees, right? Think about how much time and effort it takes to pick this up and labor. So, and it's not done with a machine. They have to go out there with their hands and pick this stuff up to discard it. And then we have to pay for the tonnage and all those things. So now our teams are working collectively together on code enforcement. We've been meeting. Thank you, Chris, James, Brett, Charlie, and their teams. Our legal department is also involved in the process. We are really trying to streamline the process. Garbage is a matter of public health and safety. And we cannot utilize a 10-day citation process when it impacts our residents and our children or pets. We even had a situation with the pet getting a nail in their paw after the snow melted. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. But this is the expectation, is that we're going to go pick this stuff up, right? And I want the public to know that we're going to go pick it up. We want our city to be clean, but there's going to be a price to pay for that. Does anybody in the audience believe that a resident should pay, that everybody should be paying for this? Right? We shouldn't be paying for this, right? Right. So again, no, I'm talking about all residents. I'm sorry. But that should be free, right? Go to the next slide. The other question that came up was, we spent a great deal of time at the senior center, and compost is an issue. We don't charge for composting either. We don't charge to pick that up. We don't charge for anything. And again, other cities do. This is a service that we provide. We provide to residents. So we want to make sure. So this is the next mailer that's going out. And this is really around spring cleanup. We wanted to make sure we got the information out earlier and sooner so that people know. The difference this year about spring cleanup is that you need to have all of your stuff out there by Sunday. Because what happens, this is what happens. Truly, this happens every single time. Now, most cities only do one give me, right? We do a fall, we do a spring, and then they expect us to come out 3-4 times to their house. Well, I put more stuff out. And then we'll come back. Oh, I put another. They didn't come back. Why didn't they pick up my stuff? Put your stuff out on Sunday. We're going to make our runs through there. If we have time, we'll come back. Otherwise, you need to get everything out on Sunday. That's the goal. The more we educate the public on how we do spring cleanup, the better. So stop dumping now. Collect your stuff and put it out there, and on your date, right? So we want to make sure that we stay that. Also, again, This was the worst one, so I want to make sure I save this for last. Look at that. Now, these pictures, I still have a flash drive full of pictures that I did not use. Did not use. Unbelievable. So if we want a clean city, it's going to take all of us. We are looking at a reward, a legal dumping reward program as well, and partnering with the sanitary district for dumpster days throughout the year as well. So again, we want a clean city. Next slide. Housing and homelessness. So this is an issue for Michigan City. Underhoused, homelessness. So our ARPA dollars are going to be put to work to assist in these areas. I know we just sent an officer, a social worker, and someone from our office to a conference on homelessness. This is important to me as the mayor, but also just as a citizen and resident of Michigan City who was born and raised here. So some funding will be going to, we have several partnerships. We're working with North Central Community Action Agency. We're providing them with $120,000 to support rental assistance here in Michigan City for residents, $15,000 for water bill relief, and $10,000 for ramps and home accessibility projects. We also have provided emergency shelter support to the Salvation Army and the Bridge Transition Shelter. And the reason why, during that cold spell, the Nest didn't have any more beds, and it was 0 degrees. And we have residents that live in tents here in Michigan City, so it was important that we found a place for them to stay. We've also set aside over $150,000 to assist local residents with home repairs. More to come on that, but we are identifying ways to leverage local CDBG dollars and weatherization efforts with other organizations. And lastly, housing investments. We, as a region, were awarded a Lilly Gift 8 match, but also here in LaPorte County. And we're part of a $4 million grant that is focused on affordable housing and infill workforce housing and technology upgrades in our planning department. So food insecurity is another issue here in Michigan City. And to combat this, we've invested almost $100,000 towards this. NIPSCO reached out to me about a worthy cause and wanted to match dollars. So we are providing $25,000 in a matching grant using ARPA dollars for the Westside Community Garden. It's going to be very much like, actually a lot larger than the Walker Street Garden. The Walker Street Garden was established with CDBG dollars years ago, but we're also going to provide $10,000 to Walker Street for additional programming. We've also provided $35,000 to United Way for our food kitchens, soup kitchens, and our food pantries, as well, and the Northern Indiana Food Bank for some mobile pantries on those food desert areas. Next slide. Parks and beautification, clean and sustainable neighborhoods. So for the next 2 years, we're going to place a great deal of emphasis on neighborhood beautification and safety projects. $100,000 has been committed to establishing new neighborhood organizations and supporting existing organizations to create vibrant neighborhoods through engagement, street lighting, cleanups, and establishing communication vehicles through block clubs, which the Eastport Neighborhood Association is moving towards. Over $150,000 has been committed to supporting additional beautification efforts throughout the city, which include murals and sculptures in neighborhoods, and a new effort called Keep Michigan City Beautiful will roll out to allow organizations to support clean-up efforts and restoration efforts throughout the city. Those trailers will be full of tools and things that local organizations and community groups would like to use. And then again, as I stated, the dumpster program in partnership with the sanitary district. Just notable, I would like to note that we are having our ribbon cutting for the Water Tower Park in May. And shout out to, first of all, Events, Terry, Eric, Will, Shannon, the park department. For a city our size, what other city our size has a zoo, a lakefront destination, over 700 acres of parks, a golf course? No one does that. And they do a great job, and they do it smiling, even though I can see the stress and duress in their faces throughout the year. So you'll see a lot more programming in the neighborhoods. We're going to have a moving summer camp program in different parks in the city this year. We got chess club, you name it. We're doing all kind of things for our residents. And I will tell you, doing those things, you see the crime rate that went down? That is a part of that. All that community engagement is directly impacts crime. Last but not least, we hosted a successful opioid roundtable last fall, and I had the opportunity to speak at a drug court graduation. And during the holidays, there was a young lady who came into our office, her and another young lady who had children and were looking for housing. And that is one of those things that you learn a lot. You learn about resources. I know Kelly has learned a lot, and Isabel, about finding resources for people. And I happened to ask about the young lady and found out she OD'd out on the south end of town in front of her kids. And that does something to you, right? And we've had this money for several years and really haven't done anything with the money. And so I'm at this point now where it's starting to happen. We've seen a decline overall, but when you start seeing families and children that are going through what they go through because of this crisis, it's time that we do something about it. So we are rolling out this grant program to organizations. It'll be rolling out next month. And organizations will be able to apply for $5,000 to $25,000 for programming. And it's really about educating the public. We need to invest in our youth, and we need to save people's lives, because we know that we have to take pride, and we need to take care of all of our residents, and understand that it's an addiction and it is a disease. And so we want to make sure, and this is in partnership with the city council. We're going to have mental health providers, police department, and different members on this oversight committee, so that we can do everything we can to build up our neighborhood groups, take pride in our city, and balance mental health and the health of our residents. Next slide. So, you want to be a part of this? I need you to show up. I need you to tell your friends, your family members, concerned citizens, and we want the good, the bad, and the ugly. We've had our first one. It was a great turnout. We're going to have these all over the city throughout the year. And we're also going to have some roundtables with small businesses as well, and contractors to help us with continuous process improvements this year. Next slide. New program. The mayor needs to lose some weight. So I feel like I look okay, but I don't feel good every day. My knees and everything hurt. So I would like to thank Nyla Williams for bringing this opportunity to us to move with the mayor. This is going to be kicking off in May, where we're going to have taekwondo, line dancing, yoga, health practitioners that will be out providing resources to families. We're trying to do it at local parks. More to come. There will be a press release, but we want people to be healthy. And And I think this is a good opportunity for the mayor to stick to what she said she was going to do. And I kept saying last year, I'm gonna do this before the next gala so that I can wear blah 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 blah. It didn't happen, so it's what it is. And I haven't found a dress yet. So our gala is on April 11th, and last year, as you know, it was a tremendous success. We gave out almost $100,000 to local youth organizations last year. Go to the next slide. And it was fun. It was. I think people were ready to get dressed up and come out and have a good time. You go to the next slide. Look at all the young people. We had the young people volunteering at the event. They spoke at the event. They were mingling with the adults. I saw them shaking hands. I was so proud of all the young people from all the youth organizations. We made sure that they all could attend with chaperones free, which we will do again this year. This year, our focus and emphasis is on neighborhoods. We want
Angie,
people.
if I could just interrupt for a second. The Young People's Theater Company here at the Holdcraft Performing Arts Center benefited from that. And thank you very, very much for that. It is going to help fund our summer production of Newsies. That will be the last 2 weeks in July. But again, thank you so much for that. We appreciate that beyond belief. Thank you.
That wasn't planned. All right. But again, our goal is to engagement, getting our young people engaged, making sure they have a place to go, making sure they have something to do is critical for the future of Michigan City. So with that being said, one of the things that is important in partnering with the Unity Foundation, from now through April 30th, $25,000 of those proceeds will be used as a challenge match in the community for our all-inclusive playground at Fetters Alley. I know we were rolling and scrolling the video. I encourage you to take a look at, go to the Park Department website and take a look at it. This is phenomenal. This is going to be a destination place for the whole entire region. The video is posted on YouTube as well, but $25,000 of the proceeds is going to be used for a match at our Unity Foundation, and that QR code, we'll have it at the gala as well. Really focusing, I'm going to be hitting all of the businesses up to name some of these pieces that are there, but this is a phenomenal opportunity for our city. Last but not least, we are going through a transformation with our branding and our website. You can go to the next slide. We are not replacing our logo, but this is our new brand that we're going to be utilizing, and it's modern. Our website has been outdated and broken for a long time. Go to the next slide. This is just a picture of some examples of what this could look like in the future. But again, this transformation is starting now. And next month, we are launching our new website. Finally. Finally. I can't tell you the headaches. Go back one slide. The headaches of this website. There's one of my many ums, but I will say that there are so many links on there that are broken or outdated, and the energy to try to fix that, it was just best to start over and easier to start over. So we are excited that we will finally be launching this. I know that, and I know Andy and his team from IT. First of all, Andy Metanik is the jack of all trades. His team, they do facilities management. Tim and Cornell in our building as well, but they do everything. So I appreciate all the time and effort that he takes keeping us safe from all the hackers and all these other crazy people out there. So thank you for that. Next slide. So in closing, first of all, let me say thank you to everyone for allowing me to represent Michigan City. I spent a lot of time downstate, but last year I spent a lot of time out in the public and really truly telling and sharing the story of Michigan City. I'm the biggest cheerleader for Michigan City. People come and ask me to talk, and I talk about Michigan City. There's not one person across America who hasn't heard of Michigan City if they've come across me. And I think that's what my role is as mayor. And that's why I'm so thankful to the employees and finally building the team up so that I can really work on visioning and process improvements and things that are going to really move Michigan City forward. I think it's important that our employees spend more time out in the community, that they're accessible, but I try to be accessible. And just because I don't respond to you on Facebook doesn't mean I'm not accessible. That's my personal page, and I'm not going to respond. That's my family's page. So I tell people, call City Hall. Yes, you may not talk to me, but believe me, I get the message. And I want the public to know that. But otherwise, you can see me at Myers, Walmart, GFS. You can see me at all the events. I'm usually there. So it's and just come up to me. You'll always get a few minutes of my time. So last slide. A stronger Michigan City for me, though, it means investing in training opportunities. I didn't even mention our workforce development projects we have going on with our Director of Workforce, Keela Ward, who's here. But it's about securing good paying jobs, building lasting careers for not only our students, but new people or people who want to change their jobs or their careers. It means creating housing options at all levels. That means affordable homes for working families, quality developments for our growing professionals, and sustainable living spaces for our senior population. It means ensuring that those who already call this city home can maintain their properties and enhance them. Strengthening the fabric of our neighborhoods and fostering a sense of pride in our community is top priority for me. But none of this can happen without all of us working together. And that means government, businesses, nonprofits, and most importantly, all of you. It will take our collective energy, ideas, and determination to make Michigan City not just a good place to live, but a great place to call home. So I want this to be our charge moving forward. To build up, not tear down. To invest, not abandon. To unite, not divide. Because when we lift up our neighbors, we lift up our city. The future of Michigan City is in our hands. So let's continue this work together. Thank you. May we move forward with strength, purpose, and unity. God bless America, Michigan City, our troops, and all of you. Thank you for being here today. So, Kelly gave me a reminder. We do have some T-shirts, a few of them. Don't run her over. We ain't got a lot. But there's some stickers back there. There's some forms for you to fill out if you want to be on boards and commissions. And I will be doing a lot of appointments now that this day is over. My birthday is tomorrow too, y'all. So I wanted this done before my birthday because I didn't want the stress of this. But again, thank you all for coming. It's fabulous to see so many people here. And again, thank you. I see some of our other department heads. Thank you to our Forester. I got IT, Airport, Jessica from our airport, Tim Werner. Again, thank you to all of our department heads and all of our employees who are here today. And I see Sherry from our CDBG. Again, so thank you again. Thank you for coming.